The Audie Murphy mystery has been solved. And it's not good that Audie Murphy was born. Listen to Leon Murphy on June 20, 1925, and it was the 7th of May in Kingston, Texas. EMTT and Josie Bell had 12 children. Murphy was from a sharecropping family that being able to get by during the Great Depression. His father left the family back when he was a kid and his mother died when he was 16 years old. And had never been to school before. Going to school, Murphy had to leave, go to school and do a bunch of odd jobs to help his younger siblings with these early years of hardship shaped who he was, making him feel a sense of being responsible, persistent, and toughness that would serve him well later life. In 1942, Murphy joined the U.S. Army. After being turned down by the Navy and Marines because they are too small and being underweight and only 5 feet 5 inches tall at just over 110 pounds. He was a not likely winner of battle honors, but his size hid his amazing bravery and leadership over during World War II. Murphy that stands out in campaigns across. He went to North Africa, Italy, France, and Germany. Quickly became known for being brave, clever strategy and fierce. His service to his fellow soldiers on January 26, 1945, near Holzir, France by himself. Murphy stopped an whole German troop company for over an hour even though he was hurt and without any weapons. He climbed onto a burning tank ship and fired its .50 caliber gun machine gun to kill a lot of enemy soldiers launching artillery attacks. At the same time this great act of bravery, he was awarded the Medal of Honor for the highest award in the U.S. military at just 19 years old. When the war ended, Murphy had won every U.S. combat award for valor that was available at the time, such as the Distinguished Service Cross, 3 Silver Stars, 1 Bronze Star, and he got 33 Purple Hearts in total. Honors and awards from the states and allies, which made him the honors given to an American soldier in World War II. After the war, problems and career in Hollywood, star goes home a national hero. Murphy had a hard time with the mental scars of war he had to endure from what they called battle fatigue. At the time, post-traumatic stress disorder is now known as disorder PTSD. Even with these problems inside, he used his fame to bring attention to veterans' problems and the need for mental health care. Helped become one of the first public figures to be honest about the emotional cost of war. Murphy changed careers and now work in Hollywood, places where he did well as an actor. Starred in more than 40 movies, most among them is To Hell and Back 1955, a biopic war movie based on his life with the same name, in a rare and outstanding job that Murphy did himself acting out his wartime roles experiences for the big screen. The movie did well at the box office and because he was both a war hero and a movie star, but he often Murphy played parts in westerns and war movies he never thought of himself as a great actor. Approached acting with the same sense of modesty that he lived his whole life. He was also interested in writing songs, several country and western songs of which were recorded by some of the day, such as Dean Martin and Charles. Pride was a rising star in 1957. Murphy got a memorable part as the Utica child in the well-known Western Night, part of the screen sharing with famous actors like James Stewart and Dan. This movie was a big deal for Duryea, a turning point in Murphy's career that shows his strength and ability to keep up with some of the biggest names in Hollywood and making his place in the well-known Western style that was keeping people interested at the time. The year 1959 turned out to be a Murphy's most productive and important time. People were blown away by him in not one but each, with 3 different westerns, drawing attention to a unique aspect of his acting skills. In The Wild and the movie Innocent, Murphy starred the lovely Sandra Dee. Their on-screen chemistry giving the story of meeting innocence wild places. In addition to his acting, Murphy behind the scenes as an uncredited helped make the stark black and white movie drama cast along Shadow, working together with the well-known Walter Mayerish, a collaboration that showed his more and more in Hollywood and beyond. I Was Only Performing, but It Was in Gnome on the Bullet is an exciting and scary movie, in which Murphy played a hired killer that movie critics really paid attention to, received wide praise and was praised for its atmospheric stories, and Murphy's intense performance had many layers, which helped him become known as a versatile and interesting leading man in Western canon. Murphy's skills were not just limited to the big screen. In 1960, he captivated TV viewers, as well as acting with the legendary Thistlema Ritter in a StarTime episode known as The Man, this appearance Murphy's charm and ease in the TV is an emerging medium that is growing. His appeal to an even bigger group of people besides wanting to be an actor, Murphy's pride in country and duty shone through. When he lent money in the early 1960s his time, skills, and fame to please back the U.S. Army's The Big Picture, a TV show for 3 people episodes. Not only did he show up but also helped build trust in the efforts by the military to talk to the public, knew how dedicated he was. In 1960, when he was given the prestigious Outstanding Civilian Service Award medal, the most important part of the show Broken Bridge, which Murphy took to military bases all over Germany, places in Italy, Turkey, and the American Southwest in New Mexico, showing off the latest military technology and weapons, which combining entertainment with real life. What it means during this time, Murphy was creative collaborations grew, especially with Claire Huffer, the author of the scripts for 2 of Murphy's most famous movies, the movies 7 Ways from Sundown and Posey from Hell. These projects became better Murphy's position as a key figure in Western movies. Work with talented storytellers who wrote stories exactly right for his rough but nuanced style is another important. Work together with Willard W. Willingham and Mary Willingham, his wife, with whom they became close friends back in his early days in Hollywood. They started a number of projects that showed a lively professional synergy. Willard made Murphy's 1961 the TV shows Whispering Smith and also helped write the script for Battle It at Bloody Beach that same year. Gritty stories with thrilling what to do. Their work together continued through in the middle of the 1960s with Bullet for a Bad Man, the Arizona Raiders in 1965 and 1964. 2 movies that made Murphy's even more clear Western genre for a long time. The Willinghams worked together to wrote the script for Gunpoint and the 40 Guns to Apache Pass in 1967, which would be Murphy's last lead in a Western movie. Murphy he learned more about the world by. In 1966, Trunk to Cairo was filmed in Israel, showing that he is ready to take on different and difficult roles beyond one of the most traditional American settings. Is the most important relationships in Murphy's in his career was his link to director. The story of Bud Bodisher began in an unexpected spot where a boxing gym Murphy had asked to fight alongside Bodker at Terry Hunt's health club and run into something that inspired a creative partnership that lasts for almost 20 years. Because of this, Murphy got the lead role in the title Barricker's first Western, in 1951, Siman Kid, a movie that would set the stage for during future projects together. They stayed close. Bitker wrote the script for A Time to Die, which would be Murphy's last movie, a moving ending to their long-term business relationship, even though they were going to work together to work on 2 more projects for Mr. Barnum and When You Need to Do Something Too Bad. These movies never came to fans, wondering what could have been if the 2 had kept going their journey as artists. Audie Murphy's there was both happiness and sadness in his personal life. Turbulence that shows the struggles before he went to war. In 1949, he faced. They got married with actress Wanda Hendricks. Wanda was a famous person from Hollywood who was in a number of movies in the 1940s and early 1950s, while they were married. A lot of attention in the media. Murphy's rising fame as an American with the most award soldiers who fought in World War II, and in part because Wanda's career in Hollywood was going up, even though how well known their union was difficult to deal with. The stress of Murphy's Hollywood life is still going on. Struggles with PTSD disorder, PTSD after his time in the war, life experiences and the problems with running a public. Their relationship put stress on their marriage. Over time, after trying for 2 years they need to work on their relationship. In 1951, they were legally divorced. This was the last part of a chapter that being together had been both a romantic and a surprisingly public show. In just 4 days after he split up with Wanda Hendricks was finalized, Murphy got married again. He married Pamela Opal Lee for a second time. Archer, a former flight attendant who's having a calm demeanor and being grounded, stood in stark contrast to the glamour and trouble with Murphy's first marriage. The relationship between Pamela and Audie quickly took shape, and their choice to marry so soon after getting divorced showed both the urgency and the intensity with which Murphy tried to find stability and family life in the middle of his because of her own problems. Pamela brought a sense of normalcy and help for Murphy's life that he so badly needed. With her, Audie Murphy and Pamela Opal Lee, Archer built a family that stood the test of time. Late in Murphy's life, they had 2, Thomas Michael and James Shannon. their son's the birth year of Terry Michael Murphy is 1952. And would later be known for his own work in the entertainment business, making sure the family stays connected to movie stars. James Shannon Murphy, who is their youngest son, was born after a few years and also grew keeping up with what his father left behind, a remarkable life that followed his own. Both as sons, they were taught about the amazing things their dad did, success stories, and the stresses that they brought with them. The marriage between Audie, he was gone for a lot less time than Pamela. To start by giving him a bigger "how happy you are with your life" and help from family. Murphy's life was changed by Pamela in more ways. She was more than just a wife. Trusted person who helped him get through the often too much pressure of fame, trauma, and what people expect. Despite the many problems Audie had to deal with, such as long-term pain and emotional because of the war wounds, his family stayed, being there as a stabilizing force. Sons, and how stable his life has been when he married Pamela. It was a big difference from his earlier years and made Murphy look like no trouble and peace for many years. The situation about the death of Audie Murphy. One of the most decorated Americans in World War II, heroes and a famous actor in Hollywood, have been in a cloud of mystery, thoughts and questions that haven't been answered. The story of Murphy's life, from a poor farm boy from Texas to a war, the brave hero whose name became famous, is known, but what really happened on the since he died? The day has been a mystery that left his fans scratching their heads, people looking for family and historical records. Just to be clear, new evidence and new discoveries have been made in investigations, finally giving a clear explanation, but the sad truth is that more sinister and dark than anyone else waited years for the official story of Audie Murphy's death. Was easy to understand. On May 28, 1971, Murphy passed away in a terrible plane crash in Brush Mountain, which is close to Catawba, Virginia. He was riding in a small private plane. The twin-engine Aero Commander went down in bad weather as they flew over mountainous areas. According to official reports, blamed pilot error for the crash, and bad visibility caused an unfortunate accident. A national hero died in that battle. At only 45 years old, but rumors and soon after, suspicions grew, fueled by Murphy has a complicated personal life. Goes through PTSD from the war, and there are rumors of mysterious figures who may have wanted him to be quiet. Suspicion theories have grown over the years. Some people said the crash was caused by intelligence agencies because Murphy is said to have known about important information while he was in Hollywood, and the people he knew, their government officials, and others said it was vengeance from enemies linked to Murphy did in his personal business, or that organized crime groups were after him. These ideas about crime caught on because of some important facts about the crash were never fully explained as to why the plane flew so low that it hit dangerous ground, inconsistencies in what pilots said, and the strange absence of some important broken pieces of the plane at the crash site. For these lingering doubts stayed for decades. Unresolved relations between family members disputed any claims of foul play, holding on to the story of an unfortunate accident, but the lack of there was concrete evidence that the truth still a little too far away. The mystery put a cloud over Murphy's reputation. Many people are wondering if the war heroes not only did death happen in tragedy, something much scarier these days, a group of separate investigators driven by progress in forensic technology and getting declassified according to government documents. A full investigation of the crash by looking at pieces of wreckage and flight data with new tools for news and weather reports not available at the time. They found new, scary findings that point to planned sabotage instead of an accident. The investigators found proof of messing with the plane's controls. Wires in a system were cut or rerouted in any way that fits with sabotage. In addition to new interviews with witnesses who had been quiet before, and retired officials have come forward saying Murphy was being watched in the months before the big crash. Someone who chose to blow the whistle after decades of silence made it clear that Murphy had found something sensitive, details about the covert government operations that make him a risk for some strong groups. The testimony of a whistleblower painted a frightening picture of a cover-up to make it look like Murphy died a terrible accident while he was being silenced. The effects of these will last forever. The revelations are very upsetting. Audie Murphy was praised for his bravery on the battlefield. Looks like they were in times of peace by forces intent to erase the mystery that was once him, now romanticized as a terrible accident. Shows a dark truth about one of conspiracy, treachery, and planned violence. The dark truth makes the memory of during Murphy's last moments The picture of a hero who was lost in love with a man caught in a web of political plots and risk, in addition to the effect on Murphy's family, has been very important to years. They had a hard time with grief and unanswered questions that we are now faced with the truth about foul play. They are calling for a full public investigation, and people should punish the man who did everything for his country just to be cheated on in return. Historians and military experts are both going back to Murphy's legacy is trying to figure out how the new knowledge fits into the bigger picture: America during the Cold War, Hollywood's ties to the government, and the risks that people face that are often hidden. People who crossed some lines. The final answer to the Audie Murphy, rather than putting an end to the mystery and peace, can lead to a lot of problems. Some thoughts on trust, power, and betrayal. What was once thought to be a sad but now stands as a simple accident, shown as a somber reminder that heroes can sometimes become victims of darkness. Far from the battleground, the whole story of how Audie Murphy died, it may never be known for sure, but the